you, founder and CEO of Renewables in Africa, your global clean energy champion, right? So, when you're running a business, it's important to know what are the different tasks that you need to do. And not only knowing what are the different tasks is important, you also need to know actually what is the order, which one is superior to the other, right? So that you know how to focus your time and your effort. So this is what we're going to be discussing today in this episode of Renewables and Money. And I'm hoping that's going to be very useful to you. As usual, what we're going to do, we're going to start by, first of all, reintroducing the concept. First of all, you want to know that Renewables in Africa, our job here, the channel, the whole purpose is to make sure that we can demystify the renewable energy sector for you. And this channel, so this one in particular on a Friday, is to make sure that we can talk to you about the business of running a renewable energy business, because that alone is definitely a big topic to have, right? That's what I want to make sure that I get to share that with you, right? So first of all, just to say that the channel is open to anybody. So, but in particular, that would be interesting for, I would say, investors who want to invest into the sector are looking for a different angle where they can get the information that they want in order for them to make the informed decision. But it's also important for businesses looking to find out a lot more about the sector. But this particular channel, Renewables and Money, maybe talking to you entrepreneur or to you professional moving to the sector, already into the sector and looking to grow that, right? So how can we make it happen? And the reason we decided to do this renewable and money is because we've observed that there's a lot of business out there because they're so focused in the objective, which is obviously to spread the use of renewable energy across Africa and across the world that we have. And also they know that they're doing good. Sometimes they forget about some principles, some key principles of business. And our whole job is to make sure that we can help you to properly understand it. So that's what it's all about today. So the key question I have is, so renewables and money, right? So sales and marketing, which one is superior? I don't know, what is your opinion, because I've been into many conversations and it varies, right? It varies. Some people will say marketing, some people sales, some say it doesn't really matter, right? So what is your own opinion? So if you do have an opinion, please just drop it in the comments, because I like to know what it is, so that when I'm actually rolling that out, what I have to say to you, you can see whether or not it matches, and we can have that discussion, right? So we just together for, let's say, slightly less than 30 minutes, because we like to keep it short and sweet and allow you to go back to your task, isn't it? Right? Excellent. As you know, normally, so when we have this kind of discussion, so it's good to define first of all the terms, right? It's very much important. And before even I define the term, like I said, don't forget, by the way, I forgot to mention that, to subscribe to the channel, to leave a comment, and to share that with people that you know, right? Do it right now. It only takes a couple of seconds to do. Okay, so before I give you the definitions of those two terms, and it's important, I'm sure you know that already, but sort of a refresh in your mind, right? Let me just first of all explain why I believe it's important and why it may be important for you. Because I've been running the business Renewables in Africa for more than 6 years now. And before that, I've even been launching some other businesses, right? And sometimes we're just so busy with the day-to-day tasks, we don't have the time just to take, right, a little bit of distance, and in order for us to look at things and to figure out how can we make things work better, right? So we don't usually have this time. And I've been into that, and it took me a long time for me, right, to understand it. And until I understood it, so I'm not sure I was doing things correctly. I was definitely deploying a lot of efforts. I had lots of will, right? I wanted to get things right, things done, but I couldn't get the result that I wanted. And it was frustrating, because at the end of the day, the lifeblood of business is money. So, right? So you may be thinking that, okay, I'm doing good and this and that, blah, 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 right? I'm bringing my contributions. But at the end of the day, if you're not getting that bottom line to reflect what the business really wants to achieve, right, you're going nowhere. And all of a sudden, you very soon find yourself having to close down. So, as you can imagine, to running this business, you started as a startup, right? So you go through many iterations where you're bouncing your head, you're banging at, here and there, until obviously you come across some people, because I always say, training is so important, right? Invest in yourself, very important in your business. So then you start talking to people, then you start to understand, okay, how things work, and it start making sense. You start figuring, oh, those companies that actually working well, that's what they are doing. And now when you pay attention, you look at them very closely, you become like a student of those companies, you start to understand, okay, now I can make sense of really what they are doing. And now I can explain why they're having this result and me not having that result, right? So it's important to understand that. So that's the reason I thought I want to do that. And because I know the more business, the more successful business we have in the sector, the more we're going to drive people in the sector, the more we're going to grow the sector, and the more we're going to be able to roll out more renewables across Africa and across the world. So very much important, right? Especially like I say, if you're running if you run a business, treat it as a proper business, understand the principle of business, and make sure that you reflect it in whatever you are doing, right? Otherwise, you are not going very far and you may be stuck like I used to be, right? So, having said, I can see that there is somebody already share with me. So, what he thinks sales will happen if one is good in marketing, branding, business development. Oh wow, that's Sunil from India. Excellent, Sunil. I think that's a great. Oh, let's see what I have to say. But I like the fact that you contributed. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. That's great. So now, before I go back to giving you what could be my answer, it may not be your answer. Let's first of all come back to the term. Why? Because when you go back to the terms, right? So, and you define those words, then you get to understand, okay, maybe there is a meaning I did not get, right? Maybe I did not understand exactly what it meant. And I thought I knew, but I don't know. And just the simple fact of readjusting that in your head can make a massive difference, right? So, what is sale? What is a sale? Right? So, Senio, I know you're very active, right? So you gave me a good response there. So, what is that? What is a sale according to you? So, how would you define it? Do you guys really understand what a sale is? So I'm sure you kind of have an idea, but if you can put that into words, what would it be, right? Let me just give you a couple of seconds if there is anybody who want to have a go, because I know there are people watching me. I can see you watching me. So yeah, I leave you a time just to have a go at that. And after that, I can give you the my definition. And it's not just my definition, it's something obviously comes from a dictionary that's also been looked at, and we can take it forward. So, but I can see that there is nobody else as courageous as Sunil. I thought maybe Sunil we can have another go, but let me then share the response. So a sale, it's right, it's the processes of transferring, right, your title, the title, or maybe rendering a service, right? That's that transfer of title that you're having, from if you're taking any object, any product you have, when you transfer that title from yourself to the other guy, right? Because he actually gave you some money or promised you some money, this is a sale that you're making. Because once you've done it, it no longer belongs to you, it belongs to the other person, right? So that transfer, right, of title, that's very much important. Whether it's talking about a physical product, but if it's a service, it's the rendering of service, right? So once you render a service, let's say, for example, you and I, we agree that, okay, I'm going to be running a couple of webinars for your business, for your company, and I go and do that webinar for you. I've made a sale. You may not have paid me just yet, but I've already made a sale. That's actually what the definitions say, right? Very important. So until I've rendered that service, until we've exchanged title, until I transfer the ownership of the title to you, the sale is not yet done if it's a physical product. And until I have rendered the service, the sale is not yet done. There is an intention of sale, but it's not yet done. When it's completed, the sale has been done, and now you can market. Now, whether the sale gets paid or not is another question, right? So we may actually want to discuss that at a later stage. So that is what really a sale is about, right? It's very, very important to understand it this way. So it may or may not be an eye opener for some of you, but it's important to understand what it is. So, and what is marketing? So, what is marketing is another question that I believe it's important to look at, because understanding that as well will help us properly figuring out where we are, right? So, if there is any response, so let me know. So, I'd be happy to take that. Otherwise, I would just go ahead as I would do right now and give you my definition of what marketing is. So, and that's a definition that comes from HubSpot that you probably know. That's one of the biggest marketing company in the world. You know, they're making $1 billion turnover every year. So I believe we can trust them, isn't it? Right. So the experts, right? So one could argue that I may not be an expert in marketing or sales, but they get experts. So I like to trust them and believe what they're saying is correct, right? Which could be actually verifiable. So marketing is a process of actually getting people interested, in your company, product, and service. It's a process of getting people interested by your company, product, and your services. That's what marketing is. This actually happen through different activities, right? You have market research, you have analysis, you have understanding of your customers' ideal interests, and so on and so forth, right? And marketing actually pertains to all aspects of the business, right? Including the project development, including the distribution method, the sales, advertising. It gets all of that. So that is marketing. It's that process getting people to get to know your product and your services. Very critical, very important to know. Yeah. So now once we understood that, it sort of already leads us towards a response to that question. So, which one then makes more sense? Which one is superior to the other? Because if you don't get the order right, which was the case for me in my business, I didn't get the order right, you may struggle a little bit. But before I also give you that response, so what actually it's the right order according to me, and I would say so. Yeah, I was sharing against Sunny here. I just want to share some stats with you. So, and when I finish the stat, then we can go back and give you the response, and maybe we can take some Q&A if there is any, right? So, as usual, let me share my screen, and then I be able to tell you more. So, 1 second. Okay, it's on the screen. There you go. Yeah. Okay, that's fine, guys. So those are sales statistics that I've actually come across in multiple places, right? And then they says a lot. And that for me, I can say this was definitely an eye opener for me. It explained a lot of what I was doing wrong, actually, or I thought was wrong. Yeah. So the first thing is to know that only 2% of sales, guys, like I say, when you get to render the service, when you agree to somebody, you're going to render the service, or when obviously you exchange title and ownership, right? Transfer of ownership. Only 2% of sales in a company will happen in the first contact. Yeah. First contact, the first time you're talking to the customer, and then you're discussing, you're presenting your offer. So only 2% of the time. So that means if you meet customer 100 times, if you meet 100 customers, at best, 2 will actually go with you. Most of the time, that's an average, right? Some may do more or less, but that's what you get. Yeah. And 3% of sales actually happen after the second contact. That means the second time you're in touch with the customer. And when I say contact in here, guys, what I like you to understand is the contact could be varied. It could be face-to-face, it could be email, it could be phone call, it could be different things, right? So as long as there is communication going one or another, right? So you're getting your customers' attention. So 5% of those sales, I have 10 statistics like that, right? So bear with me because they're important to see. I'm sure by the time we come to the 10th one, everything will become very clearer, right? 5% happen after the third contact. So as you can see, the more contact you're making, the more sales that you're also doing, right? So that's what we see. 10% of sales happen between the fourth, after the fourth contact, right? Very, very interesting to see. But look at that, guys. This one is interesting. 80% of the sales that you're making are made between the 5th and the 12th contact, right? Very important. Excellent to know, right? What does that mean? It means that in here, if you're not finding a way, whatever business you're running, right? If you're not finding a way to get in touch with a prospect at least 5 times, there's money that leaving on the table. 73% of B2B here, business to business leads do not convert. You have to know that. So that means if you've been talking to many businesses, you're getting a no, don't get discouraged. This is what I'm about to tell you. It's normal according to the stats that we've seen. 73% actually do not convert. 50% of the people you are talking to, and people telling you, yeah, I'm ready to go. Yeah, I'm buying it. They're not yet ready. When it comes to take the crunchy decision, they flunch, right? They disappear. And I don't know for you, I've verified that with myself many times. Yeah. And before you would get discouraged, you think you're not very good, you're bad, you sucks. But when you're sitting like that, you say, oh, okay, hang on a minute. And you may be saying, okay, I do not necessarily believe into that. It's different for myself. No problem. But what I'm saying is, I'm giving you some fact and stats, right? Just feel free to verify with yourself. You may be doing slightly better than that, in which case that's great. Or maybe worse than that. In that case, you may be saying, okay, I have some work to do. But at least it gives you an idea so that you know that, okay, when it happened, it doesn't feel abnormal. So let's imagine, for example, you meeting 10 people in a week. Yeah, you're presenting to. 10 people say that you're ready. So if 5 disappear, as opposed to just say, oh, man, I've been so bad. Maybe saying, okay, I can do better for sure. But at the same time, I think I'm also, matching the stats. 80% of the leads won't convert if no one is there to actually nurture those leads. Yeah? 48% of all salespeople never follow a prospect. I've seen that many times. Okay, let me just give you an example. So let's look at all the people that will call you, reach out to you just to advertise a product, a service, whatever it is, right? So how many of them will actually call you back or reach back to you as soon as you say no, or sorry, you don't respond? Very few, right? 48%. So that means the other 52% that actually follow up, they have better chances. Why? Because they're only going to have more chances just making the sales. And let me just end with the last one. 25% of all sales or salespeople make 2 contacts and they quit. Yeah, 2 contacts and they quit. And if you go higher than that, you will see that more and more quit after 2 or 3 contacts. Yeah. So you see that should tell you something, right? So feel free to take a screen grab if you want, right? Let me just stop sharing now. I'm coming back to you. Okay, I have said that just to say, guys, as you could see, the more contact that you're making, the more chances you're having to sell to people. So the key job that you're having when you're running a business, whatever business it is, and certainly as well in a renewable energy business, because it is a business, it is your job to make sure that you always in touch with your customer. They think about you. Because don't take it personally, people just do forget when life happens. They may be talking to you today, they're very excited. As soon as they leave there, something else happened, somebody else grabbed their attention and they forget completely about you. It's not necessarily that they weren't that interested, they just get sidetracked by something else that took their attention. So you want to make sure that you find a way to get back into attention with them, that you attract again their attention. And once you've done it, then all of a sudden they warm up to what you had to say, and you may stand a better chance to do your sales. All of that to say, this is the purpose of what marketing does. Marketing, right? Number one, you market just for you to convince yourself that, hey, I'm in business, I'm going out there, I put my thing out there. Yeah, I'm alive. I see my thing even going. I'm happy. Because even you yourself, when you see, okay, I've advertised that I've reached out this, you're happy. You can see that you're doing some activity. The second thing is to tell the customer, the prospect, that, hey, guys, look at us, watch me, look at what I have to say. And the third thing, obviously, you want to make sure that can go towards delivering the sales. So marketing is critical, guys. Raising awareness. Yeah. Simple. I always take this example. You've heard me talking about that many times. I say, imagine you have two sellers in the marketplace, right? Orange, they're selling orange. It's one of them, he doesn't have the best orange, but happen to be in the middle of the marketplace. Another one has the best orange, but it's just on the side road where there's not a lot of traffic. And my simple question, who's going to sell more? Yeah? Who's going to sell more? What do you think? I think all of us know who's going to sell more. Hands down, it is the guy who's in the marketplace because he gets he get the attention. He's marketing himself around. There's a lot more people coming. Another quick question: when you go into the shop, you buying anything, right? Do you tend to go to product services, or do you tend to consider people that you don't know, the brand that you don't know? Obviously, most of us is a brand we know. I was discussing to somebody yesterday because I was at the conference, and the lady was telling me, "Yeah, I will go to the guy I know because I'm lazy." I said, "Oh, the good news for you is we all that lazy." So the funny thing is, if you're that lazy, why would your customer be different? And why do you know that brand? So how do you know that brand? It's simply because they constantly marketing to you. They're making sure you do not forget about them. So that means at the time you come in now to buy and for them to make a sale, you've already automatically, shortlisted who's going to be the few choices, the few options, the few suppliers you're going to consider. And usually those few of a supplier would tend to be people you've heard about day in, day out. So for me, what I'm saying is when you happen to sell something, the sale doesn't happen on the first time you start selling to the person doesn't happen on the day you're selling. It has started before, long before. And the earlier you can start promoting yourself, raising awareness, the better it is for you, even at the stage of an idea. Because sometimes people say, okay, yeah, I'm working on this project, but we're not there yet. Let's wait until we launch the project. We're going to go to marketing. I say, wrong time, wrong time. You want to start as soon as possible. Because guess what? By doing it even earlier, you get customer feedback. They can start integrate. Again, that's another conversation I was having at a conference I was yesterday, which was a brilliant conference, by the way. So, yeah. So we could have had more people for sure, but brilliant conference. Yeah. So, yeah. So clearly for me, between marketing and sales, by far for me, marketing is superior. What does it mean? If you're running a business, whether you're a product developer, whether you are an installer, whether I don't know, you're selling, you're a distributor, right? So you want to make sure that market knows about you and don't forget about you. Yeah. Guys, if you see me talking to you every day, obviously I love you, but I also want to make sure you don't forget about me. And there's nothing wrong with that because I know there's a lot of things that I can do that may be of help for some of you, in fact, many of you. And this is what you simply have to replicate. People need to know exactly. Somebody say marketing is preparing the ground for sale. Absolutely. That's what I was saying. Your sale doesn't happen the day you're selling. You have started before. And the earlier you do it, the better. The better. Yeah. Because I mean, by the time you come now to sell, your customer, your prospect has already made automatically a short list of people he will consider in his mind. And usually that's based on people he's seen before. Because he would assume this guy are the good guy because they're still around. Everybody talks about them. Yeah. So okay. Anyway, that's what I had to say. I'm sure we can spend some time. Oh, by the way, like I said, what I'm doing is just very short. Oh, I'm thinking of running a workshop to go a little bit more into detail on that. So if some of you are interested, just drop it in the comments, right? So I'm thinking of running that workshop. I haven't decided the date yet. So I definitely will invite you. We can talk a lot more about that, and then yeah, we can see whether that could be helpful for you. So let me just take a couple of questions. So yeah, and then and we can wrap it up because I want to keep it to half an hour, no more than that, right? But thank you for listening. I appreciate that. That's what they will respond. Let me just go through the response that we have, and yes, we could be talking. Okay, so I had Sunil. Can we? Yeah. Sunil. Okay. I think that's one thing we read before, isn't it? Sonia, are you still around? So do you have any specific question maybe you want to ask? So okay. So say what happen if one is good in marketing, branding, business development. Yeah. So great, that's fine. So thanks, Sonia, for that. So then I have Chidi. Chidi is a regular guy. Oh, by the way, Chidi, you're a top man, right? I appreciate that. So make sure that you drag more people to listen to that. It will be useful for them. Sales and marketing, goods, pari passu. I mean, they both go together. Yes, they absolutely go together. I would agree, right? That's why you sometimes see in many departments you have sales and marketing department together, right? But what I'm saying is actually which one is superior to the other, right? So which one should should have more attention? Okay. The reason I was saying that is because, especially if you're a small business, you need to prioritize. What I'm clearly telling you, it's if you don't have enough time, I would rather focus marketing a little bit more than saying a bit more. Because if you market, you get a lot more people coming towards you. You have the traffic, even just by the stats, the law of the stats, you're going to end up with more sales. Whereas if you focus on the sales, but don't even have the traffic coming to you, don't even have people coming to you, you may be the best closer in the world. You still leave a lot of money on the table just because you just don't have the traffic that come to you. So spend your time marketing yourself, whatever you do. Whatever you do. And sometimes I don't think that marketing doesn't work. It always works if you do that in the right quantity. Because it's simply about, remember what I said, right? It's a process of making sure that you get your the market, the prospect to get to know about your company product and your services, right? Think about it. That's what it is, and happen in different ways. Bring the traffic. Make sure that you're a great closer. Because again, sales and close is not the same thing. We're also going to come back to that, but get the traffic. Make sure they're good at closing, and you could be doing that, right? So they go together, but one is for me should have a little more focus if you lack in time, especially for small business. And this thing that I've done, obviously, things better because when you do that, so you're ending up having to do even less cold call. You're doing less cold call because you have just enough traffic coming your way. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. Marketing is preparing the ground for sale. That's what Mohsin says. Saudi, yeah, Mohsin, top man. I think you're you're very good, man. So I appreciate that. So I can see you contributing a lot. Thank you for that. He said again. So and say this why. What is sales? Is it selling or account management? So I've defined sales at the beginning, right? I say like a simple definition. It's the transfer of ownership or title if you have physical goods, right? But if you have a service, is the rendering of the service. When you're rendering, when you're delivering that service, this is when the sales has happened, right? Normally, that's what it is considered. So, if you're talking about account management, yes, account management. In fact, account management, it's a type of marketing sales thing. If you want to, I think account management, as far as I know, it's the practice of providing your customer with service, support, and improvement opportunity to increase their consumption, right? So normally when you're managing an account, it's supposed that you already have acquired that account, you already have populated that account with some customers, right? So that's what, so because obviously you probably will know that the cheapest customer is a lot cheaper to keep customer that you have than getting new one, isn't it? Whenever you get a customer, make sure that you can keep him with you as much as possible. Yeah. So let me just go. All of a sudden, people are participate. Excellent. Selling in supermarket is not the same as selling high added value and product service specific. Says in this guy can lead marketing. Okay. When you say okay, the reason I was talking, Mohsin, the reason I was talking about the supermarket, it's because I want to simplify the concepts. But according to me, that's my perception, it works the same way. Because in the business that I am, which is what we do, we're helping companies to raise awareness about the product and services so that they can reach out to the customer and make more sales, right? So it's all renewable energy business. And I work with banks, European investment banks. I work with Google. So our work will rent 21, and those projects that we roll out are not easy. Those are high added value services. One of them is a guarantee where we're helping businesses or a project to be de-risked so that they can get built and get added to the grid. It's a very complex subject. But guess what? It's the same thing. Because for this guy, for those big guys to come to me, right? They would have first of all get to know me. How? Because I've marketed my service. Because guess, well, basically, they will never have come to me before. Those are big guys. They usually will go to people they trust and they know. And I have had to market myself to be there. This is what I'm saying. So it's not the same thing, but the concepts, definitely for me, the marketing still leads here. Definitely. In my case, which I can tell you is far from being simple. Trust me on that. So okay. To Ignace, hello. For me, marketing triggers more sales. The better the marketing, the higher the sales. Absolutely. I think I couldn't say that more. That's what it is. Like I said, you're just getting more traffic. And you're also leaving a lot of a footprint out there. Because guess what? Those big customers that Mosin was talking about, because for those high added value sales, usually they want to make sure that the guy they're dealing with can definitely deliver, has a reputation, and blah, blah, blah. What are they doing? The first thing, number one, they will check you out. They will check you out. When I did the project, for example, with Google, it took me about a month or two for them to check me out. And I knew they checked me out. How did I know that? I could see that on my account, LinkedIn, for example, or this guy from Google, I check you. They check you out. So you want to leave a footprint. How do you leave a footprint? That's your marketing. Exactly. Before they complete the sale. They won't complete the sale before they check that out. Definitely. Okay. So in this case, okay, no problem. So guys, that was very exciting. I've gone above the 30 minutes. I'm making sure that I can really keep it there because I'm also having a very busy day. But I could see that it triggers a lot of good discussion here. By the way, thank you for watching us. I appreciate that. I'm hoping that I see you again, 3 times more than what we have right now on Friday, because I want to talk about the business of running a renewable energy business. We can help you, right? Because until I understood how to run my business like a business, right, I was able to make sure that we grow and we do and we do better. And I just want to make sure that whatever business in the space that you're running, I can give you those skills and also you can grow, right? That's what I want to say. And I have, my usual guy always come in the end, Tony. Yeah, no, but that's why you have the replay. Yeah, you can play as much as you can. But next time, you gotta know on Friday it's 1 p.m. BST time. I don't know wherever you are in the world. Just use Google. You see 1 p.m. BST time. We're having a 30-minute renewables and money. In here, we're not talking about any technicalities, solar panel, blah, blah. We're talking about the business aspect of running a renewable energy business, because I want to see how I can empower as many entrepreneurs out there, or people who want to be entrepreneurs. You could be an entrepreneur or entrepreneur if you're working for another business, but you empower you so that you understand those basics, those principles. Yeah, excellent. Same thing. Have a great weekend, and I see you definitely, guy. I will see you on Sunday when we're gonna have another live session. It won't be renewables and money, which is next Friday, but we have a lot of other things that we want to talk about. Guys, I appreciate you. So love to talk to you. Talk to you soon. Bye.